Welcome, dear learners. This video is on management reports, which is the third module of managerial communication of first BBA second semester of Mangalore University. I am Dr. Sunita Lizzie Pereira, Assistant Professor in Management, Manjunathapai Memorial Government First Grade College, Karkala, Udupi District. Let us begin the study with the syllabus for the module 3. We have two topics here. One is management reports and another is business letters. Let us begin the study with the syllabus for the module 3. There are two topics here. One is management reports and another is business letters. We are studying about the principles, types, steps in preparation of reports, highlights and graphs, and specimen reports based on failure of product in the market, reorganization of a concern, establishment of a new branch, extent of competition in the market, and company secretary's report. Under business letters, we are studying about the principles, the styles of layout, part or structure of a letter, and we would study these four types of letters, that is for calling for a post, calling for interview, appointment order, and termination order. What is a report? A report carries information from someone who has it to someone who needs it. In a large organization, there are different departments, and the top executives cannot keep a personal watch over all the activities. So they have to base on their decisions on reports by heads of various departments. Reports are essential for taking right decisions in an organization. Examples of reports are, in business sector, we come across the following reports. Periodic reports by bank manager to head office, report to the board of directors, report by the committees to the government, report by the company secretary to the board of directors regarding problems and suggestions, marketing report by the manager to the decision maker. A report is a written document. It is based on the facts, events, and opinions that we collect from the people who have knowledge or who are concerned. It is organized and presented in a clear, correct, and coherent language. Coherent when we say it is logical or consistent, logical and consistent. Reports also can be oral, but written reports are a permanent record. So written reports are advantageous over oral reports. Let us see the types of reports. On the basis of frequency of issue, how frequently the reports are issued. There may be ordinary or routine report, which is also called as periodic report. This is the report which is submitted annually, monthly, or weekly. It can be a report by a branch manager. Special report, it is related to single occasion or situation. This is a non-recurrent, which is for a special purpose, a particular situation. For example, report on setting a new branch. Second is on the basis of legal formalities. We can have formal report and informal report. Formal report are in a prescribed form which follows a particular procedure and which is submitted to a concerned authority. Again, we can subdivide this formal report into statutory and non-statutory. Statutory is as per the law, and non-statutory, it may not be as per the law, but it is required for taking an important decision. For statutory report, we can consider an auditor's report, a director's report. Under informal report, it is from person to person communication. It can be short or long. It may be in a letter form or a memorandum. Next is based on the function that is performed. We have informative report, which is based on facts related to an issue or situation. Investigative report, also called as analytical report or interpretative report, which analyzes the facts, draws conclusions, and makes recommendations. On the nature of subject dealt, we have fact-finding report, performance report, technical report. Technical report, when you may say, it may be specialized on a particular subject. Performance of employees in the organization. Problem determining report may be the causes for the or the reasons for the problem that is identified. Next, on the basis of number of persons entrusted with the drafting of report, we have report by individual and report by committees or subcommittees. Report by individual may be like report by branch manager, personal manager, marketing manager, company secretary's report, auditor's report. This may be related to the work that is carried on in their particular department. Regarding report by committees or subcommittees, this report depends on more than one department. When decisions are to be taken, which are connected to various departments, people of different departments are combined together or formed, a group is formed, and that is called a committee, which works, investigates, and submits a report to the concerned authority. Now let us see what are the principles or characteristics of business reports. Precision. The report should be clear about the exact purpose. If properly investigated, analyzed, and recommended, it proves to be a valuable document. Accuracy. Inaccurate facts may lead to wrong decisions. Relevance. Irrelevant facts may be confusing, incomplete, or misleading. The report should be reader oriented. To whom the report is written, whether it is to a layman, an ordinary person, or to a technical expert, based on that the contents of the report should be drafted. Next is objectivity in investigation and recommendations. When we say objectivity, it should not be subjective, not an individual's opinion. The result or the report should be based on logical reasoning on the investigation carried on. Next is clarity. Clarity depends on the arrangement of facts. Simple, correct, and unambiguous language. Unambiguous language, when we say, the content should not give different interpretations. Avoid use of poetic embellishments or figure of speech. Keep it simple to the extent possible. Brevity. The report should be brief, but not at the cost of clarity. Grammatical accuracy. If the sentences are grammatically incorrect, it gives different meanings and it may lead to wrong decisions. Selecting a suitable type of report. What kind of report is requested? What is the time period given to prepare the report? What is the reason or the purpose for the preparation of the report? What is to be examined? What facts are to be furnished? What details are to be given? And who is going to read the report? That is, who is the decision maker? Who will take action on the basis of the report? Let us see the steps in preparation of a report. First is investigating the source of information. Here we can go for the primary sources and the secondary sources. First, like old files of the company, library research. If the data is insufficient, then we shall go for personal observation, interview, or letters. We can extract information using questionnaires or schedules. So this is collecting the information. The second step is taking notes. Here we need to record important aspects connected to our problem. Third is analysis of the information. We are making a thorough study of the contents that we have. We may have to eliminate some matters which are irrelevant and consider those aspects which are relevant. Making an outline. In the outline, we state the problem, we record the facts, analysis, and logical conclusion. An outline is required for a systematic presentation of a report. And finally, writing the report. First, we would have to prepare a rough draft, then we have to revise it, re-revise the draft, and finally come with an final outcome. Let us see the organization of a report. We have three types here. A report can be in a letter form, it can be a memorandum form, it can be a letter text combination form. In a letter form, we have the introduction, the major findings, and the recommendations or the suggestions. Memorandum form is usually in a printed format where we have to fill up the information like headings, subheadings, and the details asked. Letter text combination form is a long report, usually project reports. Highlights. A highlight report is used to provide key stakeholders with a summary of the initiative status at regular intervals. So to give the summary, that is the main points, so that the progress is monitored, critical or crucial matters are reported, and the concerned authority can take decisions quickly based on the highlights provided. Highlights using graphs. So major aspects are highlighted here. The decision maker may not have sufficient time to go through the lengthy report which is written. So if the presentation is done in the form of a graph, it is easier and quickly you can also compare the data of the past years and the current year, and accordingly decisions could be taken. Use of graphs. Graphs are visual or pictorial representations. They make the presentation simple. It may be very complicated to understand a written report, a text matter which is explained, but to see the graph and check the results, it may be easier. Graphs should be clear and readable. It should provide a clear descriptive legend. What are the various parts of the graphs? What is mentioned? It should be clearly given. So the parts of the graphs, what is the figure number, the caption, head note, data field, axis regarding the x-axis or the y-axis, the scales of measurement, 1 centimeter is equal to how many units, the symbols used, legends or the parts of the graphs, and the credit should be given for the source from where the data is collected. Types of graphs. We have different types, whichever is suitable for our purpose. We can use scatter diagram, line graph, bar diagram, histograms, pie chart, box plots. These are the various graphs, whichever is relevant, which it could be used for our report preparation. Now let us see the specimen reports. Failure of product in the market, reorganization of a concern, establishment of a new branch, extent of competition in the market, and company secretary's report. These are the frequently asked questions on report writing. So let us see the first one. Draft a report from marketing manager of Canara Traders Mandya to the board of directors about the failure of product in the market and also insisting for an immediate advertising campaign. Now here the marketing manager is writing a report. He has investigated and he has prepared and he is writing a report to the board of directors for taking action. And the reason is the failure of the product. Now they have not mentioned what product. So you can give your imaginary product and give the description about the product, why that product has failed in the market, and also give the reason or the recommendation or a suggestion that advertising campaign is a remedy to solve the problem related to the failure of the product. The second report. This is on behalf of the secretary to the directors of a company. So secretary of a company is submitting a report to the directors regarding declining sales of a company's refrigerators. Now here specific product is mentioned, that is refrigerators. Now you should know about the use of refrigerators and all matters connected to the refrigerators. And you are supposed to give the data for the past 3 years. You are required to highlight the data for the past 3 years and the extent of competition in the market. And also based on this give the remedy for the improvement of the sales. What action could be given? That suggestions are provided by you. Now you can follow this format to write a report. So first give an introduction, the terms of reference, like who has asked to prepare the report and who are the persons connected with the preparation of the report. What is the subject of the study? Whether it is related to a consumer product, whether it is related to marketing of a product, whether it is related to a starting of a new branch. What is the matter of study or the subject of study? Now what is the complaint or problem that you are going to investigate? What are the steps taken for the investigation? Who are the people involved? How investigation is done? Primary sources and secondary sources, and how it is analyzed. So what are the findings of the report and what suggestions are you going to give? Format of a report. Refer to the letter assigning you the task of submitting the report. Mention the problem like drop in sales or increase of competition, whatever the problem is connected. Analyze the probable cause for the above problems and give a recommendation on the basis of the analysis. So here is an example. This is the date, inside address. This is the salutation. The subject is report on declining sales of our products. So an introduction is mentioned here. What are the reasons for the decline of sales of the product? Unavailability of product in the market, cheaper alternatives by competitors, lack of knowledge of product in the market, lack of sales personnel. So these are the reasons for the decline of sales. Now suggesting recommendations. So how you can solve this problem? So various recommendations are given here, and finally we suggest them to overcome the problem by following our recommendation. Yours faithfully, whoever the person prepares the report. These are the sample questions. We have 4-mark questions, 8-mark questions and 16-mark questions. And for the 4-mark question, they ask characteristics of good business report, different types of reports. Under 8-mark questions, we have to explain the different types of business reports, the steps in the preparation of business report, the principles of report writing, And also, these are the four reports. Any of them may be asked, and this question may be also asked for 16 marks, like a combination 8 marks on the principles of report writing and write a report. So, these are the questions on which you are supposed to answer for the examination. Now, let us study on the second topic, that is business letters. Business letter is a letter from one company to another or between such organizations and their customers, clients, or other external parties. A business organization may be a small or a large. It has to deal with its suppliers, customers, external agencies, government. Therefore, they need to have communication with all the stakeholders. There may be inquiry about the products. You may have to reply about the goods that you're going to deliver. There may be status inquiry. There may be credit worthiness of a firm, to know about the sales of the organization, to convince the customers about the products. You need to contact the customers regularly. You need to have correspondence with the bankers. Likewise, there is a necessity to improve your reputation or goodwill and have a better relationship with all who are connected with the business organization. That is why there is a need for business letters. Let us see the basic principles or the essentials of business letter. Promptness. This says that as you receive a letter, it is your duty to respond immediately. In case if you are busy, you acknowledge them and ask them for some time. Knowledge of the subject. You need to know about the customer, what do they need, what are the policies of the organization, what to correspond. Appropriateness. Vary the tone and language of your letter according to the reader's interest. You identify the audience and accordingly you write the letter. The letter should be accurate, complete, and clearly written so that it does the job of convincing and getting the end results. You need to be courteous. Courtesy implies that we seek favors politely and express our gratitude for the favors done to us. Tact. We need to be tactful to retain the goodwill of others. Persuading others. To win the confidence of others, not by coercion or forcefulness, but by telling the positive points. Conciseness. Don't load your letters with irrelevant details and unnecessary facts. Salesmanship. Your letter is an ambassador of your firm. The you attitude. Do not say I, we, but give importance to you. Positive and pleasant approach. Do not reject altogether. Say sorry. Let us try next time. So give a chance for hopefulness. Types of business letters. There are various types like application letters. You apply for a job, you are called for an interview, you are supposed to give references related to your credentials, testimonials, letter of appointment from the company, confirmation of your job, you're promoted with higher grades, retrenchment, that is, you may be terminated from the job or you may resign from the job. Let us see the functions of business letters. Business letters are a record for future reference. Anytime we can produce it in the court of law. It has a lasting impression. In oral communication, it is one time, the people may forget it in future, but the letters could be referred again and again. Widening the approach, you can send letters to any person, known or unknown, and you can have regular contact with them. It is an authoritative proof, and a pleasing letter builds goodwill. Let us see the structure of a business letter or the parts in a business letter. We can see here the parts given here: inside address, salutation, body of the letter, complimentary close, signature. If a letter head is used, it comes at the center, most center, and the inside address, let us see it in detail. So coming to the parts of the letter, first is the heading. If the letterhead is used, the heading is in a printed form which appears at the top portion of the letter, which contains the full name of the firm, its address, telephone, email, etc. Then comes the date. This is for the quick reference for the future use and also helps in filing. It occurs at the right side just below the address of the firm. So date can be mentioned like the date, month, year. Next is the reference number. This serves to identify the source of the letter. It enables to link replies with the previous correspondence. And this is mentioned at the left side on the margin on the same line where the date appears. Inside address. This is to whom the letter is written. The same address appears on the envelope. Sometimes we use window envelope where the address is seen through a transparent piece on the envelope. This inside address occurs on the left side margin below the reference line. Next is salutation. Salutation is a greeting when you open a letter. For example, dear sir, dear madam. It should be written just below the inside address, leaving some space, and should end with the comma. Body of the letter. In the body of the letter, we have subject and reference and the paragraphs. So let us see what is the subject. It is just mentioned in a line, the main theme of the letter. For example, if you are applying for a job, you can mention application for the post of manager. So it is placed in the middle of the line just below the salutation. And it gives an idea about what the letter is, whether the letter is related to an appointment order, whether it is a termination letter. Next, just below the subject, we find the reference number and the date of the letter or notification in response to which the present letter is being written. For example, you write the subject, application for the job. Then below the subject, we write reference. Reference to Times of India dated 25th April 2020. It is placed exactly below the subject. We have different paras. Opening paragraph must encourage the reader to read further. It should get the attention of the reader. It should be very convincing. The first sentence the reader reads, he must be motivated to go further. Next is the main paragraph where you write the actual reason. It should be organized in a relevant way, written in a systematic way with the required contents. And the closing paragraph should reflect a positive and friendly approach which motivates the reader to act or respond to your letter. Complementary clause. This is a polite way of ending the letter. It is placed on the right hand margin of the letter. For example, yours faithfully, yours truly, sincerely yours. Reference initials. It is the initials of the person who has typed the letter. It is placed towards the end of the letter near the left hand margin. Enclosures. Apart from the letter, if you enclose any other documents or papers, then you need to mention enclosures number. And what are the enclosures? Catalog, invoice, checks. Similarly, if it is your application letter, if you're applying for a job, then you may keep the Xerox copies of the certificates. Postscript. This is from the Latin word postscriptum, abbreviated as PS. It is written after the letter is closed, just below the last part of the letter. Postscript. In case if you forget any information in the main body of the letter, then you write as PS at the end. But it is said it is a bad practice to forget something. Other than this, if you have to give some message which is not related to the letter, for example, to give some compliments to the person or to convey wishes, New Year wishes or compliments of the season, then you can use PS, postscript. So this is the format of a business letter where all the parts are described and the contents are given here. So for writing an imaginary business letter, you can use it. Business letter, this is a layout. Salutation, where we use dear, complimentary clause, sincerely yours, best regards, thanking you. So the letter layout can be in this form. Avoid using slang or abbreviations, acronyms. Single space your letters. Left justify your letter. When it is left justified, it is called as fully blocked form. Proper spacing, the layout, using the fonts. So using bond paper. So it is essential to keep in mind the important requirements while you draft a letter. Let us know about the styles of layout of a letter. We have the following types. Let us see it in detail. Full block form. Full block form. Here we start from the left margin. You can see other than the main heading, all other date, inside address, salutation, paragraphs, complimentary clause, all the items appear from the margin without leaving any space. So it is called as full block form. Modified block form. Some aspects like date, complimentary clause appear on the right side. Other than that, all other items start from the margin without leaving any space. So it is the modified block form. Semi-block form. Here, some of the contents like inside address, salutation is started from the margin. But when you start the paragraph, some space, 5 spaces are left. When you start every para, 5 spaces are left and other sentences are started from the margin. So it is a semi-block form. Hanging indentation. Here we can see the first line of the paragraph is in a block form, but the other sentences are in an indented form. Indented is to leave some space from the margin. And this is a hanging indentation form because the lines of the paragraph are hanging on the first line. So it is called as hanging indentation form. Special letter form. Here, when this letter is addressed to a large number of candidates, now the to address is not provided, it is written all students interested. So it is called as a special letter. It is in a special form. All the details are similar. There is no complimentary clause. It is addressed to a large number of people. Usually, interdepartmental letters are in this form. Now, from your examination point of view, we have to give importance to the following business letters, that is, calling for a post, calling for interviews, appointment orders, and termination orders. These four letters are written on behalf of the company. The company calls for a post, means gives an advertisement. The company calls the applicants or the candidates for the interview, those who are successful in the written test, or after screening the applications, selected candidates are called for interviews. When the candidates are successful in their interviews, they are given appointment orders. And the candidates join the organization, they work there, and finally, if the company is dissatisfied by the services of the applicants, now they are the candidates, employees, we can call them, they are terminated from the service or they are removed from the job. Here are sample questions on business letters. The first one is on interview, second is appointment, and the third one is terminating the services. Now here, on behalf of Bharat Company Limited, Palace Road, Mysore, draft a letter to Mr. Ajay. So Mr. Ajay would be the inside address and the subject would be calling him to appear for an interview for the post of marketing manager. Second is, you are writing a letter to an applicant intimating his appointment. So, just like an appointment order for the post of management trainee in research and development department. After the interview is done, the selected person is given an appointment order. So, giving intimation to the candidate about his appointment. Now, S.N. Gupta, an accountant in your company, has not been working satisfactorily. You are not satisfied with the work of an accountant. So, in this case, you are writing a letter to S.N. Gupta terminating his services. You are removing him from the job, giving the reasons for unsatisfactory duty. So we can see here, calling for a post, how a job vacancy is given. So the post, number of posts, duration, and a brief mention about the company, required qualification from the applicants, and what are the requirements, details to be provided regarding the enclosures and where you are supposed to mail. All these details are given. So this is calling for a post. Calling for written test. After the candidates apply for the job, the applications are screened and some of the candidates are called for a written test. So this is a letter calling for a written test. Those candidates who are qualified in the written test are called for an interview. So this is an important letter. Letter calling for an interview. So inside address, Miss Uma Jairam, dear madam, thank you for your application for the post of stenotypist, and they appreciate her to join the company and she is called for an interview. The timings are given at 2:30 p.m. on 1st December and the day year with the original testimonials and certificates. References. Now what is this references? Referee is a person who is ready to vouch for another. To know about the integrity, honesty and ability of the selected candidates, reference is asked. Referees could be current employers, head of the institutions, or any responsible members of the society who know the candidate very well and who can vouch for the candidate. Request for reference. Now, Hubli Plywood Limited is asking Mr. Prabhu, the manager of the private company, to give a reference. This is confidential letter. They are asking Mr. Prabhu to give reference about Miss Uma Jairam. And what do they want to know about her? Whether they can take the candidate for the job. They need the opinion of Mr. Prabhu about the competence, ability, sincerity, honesty, trustworthiness, and general conduct and character of Miss Uma. Reference letter. Now the referee gives a reference letter. So this is also confidential. And here appointment of Miss Uma Jairam. With regard to Uma Jairam, the referee is mentioning about the knowledge he has about the candidate. So he mentions here, Miss Jairam has been working with us for the last 3 years. She is a lady of good character and has been found to be thoroughly honest. So plus points are mentioned so that the the company can appoint the candidate with the positive reference. With the negative reference, the company would reject the appointment of the candidate. This is another form of writing a reference letter. You can just go through this. So some of the points that are given, like when the candidate was working with the present boss, and they mentioned that I am confident that he can successfully work. I consider him capable of looking after the job that he has handled in our company, and I have no hesitation in vouching for the honesty and integrity of Sri Kulkarni. So positive reply or positive reference. Now next is testimonials. Testimonial is a certificate testifying the character and qualifications of the person. It is also a letter of recommendation. It is applicants attach the recommendation. Now, what is the difference between reference and testimonial? Reference and testimonial are similar. They prove the credentials of a person, but reference is related to a specific case. It is only for one time and for a specific purpose, but a testimonial can be repetitively used. This is a testimonial. This is to certify that I have known Sri K.S. Kulkarni for the last 3 years. He is a brilliant scholar capable of discharging his responsibilities. And this testimonial can be, copies of this testimonial can be repetitively used. Next comes the appointment letter. Now the company is satisfied with the interview of the candidate, and selected candidates are called to report to duty, and to report to duty an appointment letter is to be sent. So here we can see the subject, appointment as accounts officer, with reference to your application. So the said person, Mr. Sethi, is being appointed. He has been interviewed and now appointed for the post of accounts officer. So he is entitled for the scale of pay, dearness allowance, house rent. So all details regarding the benefits, perquisites, and whatever the bonus or the other benefits that the company provides, probation period, whether it is a temporary post, whether it is a permanent post, all this is mentioned in it. And the candidate is requested to join to duty on such and such date and meet the general manager. So we look forward to a happy association with you. So they welcome the candidate to the company. Termination. Now here, the candidate who is working, who has been your employee, has not been working properly. He is not punctual to the duty. You are dissatisfied by the work of this person. So dear Mr. A.K. Bose, it is with regret that I have to inform you that your services will be terminated from 1st July. So the company is not satisfied with the job performed by Mr. Bose, therefore he is removed from services, and they give 1 month's notice before the termination. Now let us see the sample questions. These are from the examination point of view. 4-mark questions. You are also supposed to draft letter for 4 marks on any one of the following: letter calling for the post, interview letters, appointment letter, or termination letter. These are 8-mark questions. In the 16-mark questions, you are supposed to write what do you mean by business letter and explain the different parts of a business letter. Similarly, the second part of the first question is asked here: explain the different parts of a letter and also draft an imaginary business letter. You can refer this book. Most of the letter formats are referred from this book. Thank you. Thank you. Happy learning.